All right, so today we're going to be talking about the most compatible professions or career paths that you can embark on to support and, be, like I said, compatible with your nomadic or semi-nomadic lifestyle. So obviously that includes doing stuff like van life, traveling to different areas, being able to work from wherever you want, but also some of these professions are going to allow you to go to different places and maybe even require you to, allow you to expand your clientele, your client base, and serve different, perhaps neighboring cities, or who knows, sometimes you could end up traveling thousands of kilometers to different provinces, different states, and the sky's the limit essentially. So obviously, if you're working like an office job or something that requires you to be, present physically, it's not really going to be possible for you to, live on the road and explore and travel as part of your daily routine. You might be able to do it on weekends. You might be able to do it when you're on vacation, but it's not really going to be the lifestyle. It's going to be more of a vacation or, like I said, a weekend getaway. So what we want to basically talk about in this video is we want to find out, first of all, if you have one of these careers already, and if not, if it's actually something that you're willing to do to be able to fully relish in this lifestyle. So basically, I'm going to just start by listing some professions out and, maybe like kind of talk about why or what it would look like essentially if you were doing that profession and how you can make it work as a nomad or a semi-nomad. So the first one, I'm going to talk about what I do for work, which is essentially, I work on film sets, TV, new media, create content for businesses, corporate content, corporate videos. I record sound, I do video. Sometimes I'm, designing websites, full service creative agency in one person. So that's essentially what I do. So obviously for me, it was different because I actually got into this lifestyle to expand my available pool of clients and opportunities. So because I built the camper van, my mobile base camp, now I can actually go work in different cities because I'm based in Montreal. So now I have work in Ottawa, Toronto, and I've even gone really far out to remote places to do documentaries and stuff. So it's only been, positive in my case. Like I didn't, want to do what I'm doing now because of, to be a nomad. It just made sense for me to do it part-time, or to do it whenever it was necessary. So for me, obviously it's a part-time thing. I don't live on the road full-time. I have a studio back in Montreal. Like most of my work is still in Montreal. So for me, it added a little bit of extra, spice to my life, and it just makes for some really amazing adventures and stories to tell. So anything to do with film, cinema, television, content creation, that you're working with businesses, creating content for businesses, that kind of stuff. Well, it's a good match. If you're doing it freelance, that is. Because a lot of these positions, especially like, content creation, anything in the marketing department, if you get a job doing that, you're definitely going to have to be physically present in the business you're working in. So unless you're doing it freelance, I don't think it's something you can do remote. And freelance, it's just going to allow you to, maybe do content like, a month's worth of content in one day for the business. So maybe you go to, serve your clients in a different city for 1 week, and then you go to a different city. So you could organize it like that. So that's what I mean by the only way to do it for that profession or that career path is to do it freelance. Now, we can get into some other professions. I'm actually going to group them all in one basket. And this basket is basically the remote work basket. So anything that you can do remotely. So that could be software development, video editing, graphic design, motion design, any types of jobs that are even marketing, social media management, that kind of stuff, can be done remotely. And obviously, if you're doing it remotely, you're going to have a lot more control if you're a freelancer, both financially and with your time. So I always recommend going freelance if you want to have the maximum amount of freedom, which does come with its caveats, obviously. Everything has ups and downs, but basically, even if you're working for a company, you could still do these jobs remotely, possibly, or semi-remotely. Maybe you'll only have to go in once a month or something like that. So that would still allow you to be semi-nomadic, living on the road part-time. That's why I grouped them all in the same basket. It's pretty much the same arrangement, regardless of the particular career path that you choose. And then I want to get more into a different category, which I call the owner-operator category, which I think has the maximum, potential really for financial gains, but also because, and what I mean by owner-operator, I mean anybody who owns equipment and who operates it. So that could be a filmmaker, a landscaper, electrician, plumber. Those kinds of jobs are owner-operator. But the thing about plumbers and electricians is you're probably going to be so busy in your hometown that you're not going to have to travel. The job itself wouldn't require you to travel, and clients are not going to pay more, to bring a plumber or an electrician from a different city to theirs, so it would be at your cost. So I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying it wouldn't really finance. And, even for myself, actually, for what I do, the work doesn't really finance it. It's just that I get paid so well that it really, driving like a couple of hours or relocating temporarily, it outweighs the benefit, or doesn't outweigh the benefit of getting a new client or just, having more opportunities in general. But as a plumber electrician, you'd have so many opportunities where you are, so there would be no reason for you to move. So that's what I'm saying. And same thing with landscapers, really. So, a bit more niche stuff like content creator, freelance version, that kind of stuff. Owner operators, and you can also use your van to carry your equipment and stuff. But I'm telling you, the best deal in that category would be something to do with TV and film. So you have equipment, whether you're a grip, a gaffer, a DP, sound recordist, which is mainly what I do on sets. So if you do that stuff, then you're gonna have the maximum, I think, enjoyment doing this lifestyle. So those are basically the two categories I would say I would group everything into: owner-operator and remote work. So either one of those options can be suitable for you. Maybe you're already doing something that could become remote, or you have the skill set. You're just maybe employed at a company right now, and you're wondering if you should make the leap. I mean, the first thing, if you're really interested in this lifestyle, I would ask your current employer if they would be willing to accommodate that. Maybe part-time remote work, at least to start off with. And then maybe if you're really serious, you can transition into like a freelancer full-time, or start taking jobs on the side, and you know what I mean. So if you're not gonna do this though, I'm telling you guys, you're not gonna really be able to, there's gonna be no reason to do this. You'll build a camper van and you'll use it to, go on vacation, weekend getaways, which is completely fine, but it's not the same as doing it for an extended period of time. So, and also, like I said, if there's no motivation, if there's no reason for you to be on the road and traveling, it's not gonna be the same. It's gonna be more just a superficial thing. You know, you're gonna do it to look good or to like post things on social media, but you're not really gonna be doing it with purpose. And I think that might defeat the whole purpose.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. If you're building something that's meant to last, whether it's a camper van, a business, or just a better way of living, I'm glad you're here. Everything I use, recommend, or offer is linked in the description. Take what works, build your own blueprint, and I'll see you in the next one.